This is the Crew First Culture podcast. I'm Jeremy, and thank you very much for spending time with me today. I really appreciate that. We are afflicted in every way, but not crushed, perplexed, but not driven to despair, persecuted, but not forsaken, struck down, but not destroyed. That's from 2 Corinthians chapter 4, 8 through 9. A goal of mine for some time now, well, basically it's been wishful thinking for some time now for me is to get into the daily habit of journaling. I wanted it maybe a strong term. I've known for a long time I've needed to do it and really I don't e, not really fought it, just never made the time for it. I know that it was something that was going to be worth my effort. I just never put the effort into getting it started. And so recently I decided to finally quit dragging my feet and make that happen. And it's been a short time. It's been I haven't been doing it very long now, but even in that short amount of time, I've really enjoyed putting my thoughts on paper, actually writing them out and just having that outlet because a lot of times I've really felt like those things that would have been written out or, gotten out of my head by journaling were just overflowing out of me. And so it's been really nice. And I hope that I will continue to make that a habit and just a part of who I am and what I do. But I want to share a journal entry that I recorded recently during pretty much the most difficult stretch that I have ever faced during my career in the fire service. And I guess to be more accurate, it's a blend of several different entries that were recorded as I dealt with the processing of everything that I was going through and the struggles that was facing. And so as you can quickly tell, the feelings and emotions were very raw and painful at the time that I wrote these things. But why I feel it's so important to share them with you is because this writing signified a tremendous shift in perspective for me. I would almost say that you could probably even feel the change happening as you're listening to me read it, going from somebody that was angry and bitter, resentful, and so many more things to finally somebody who is accepting and even thankful for the struggles that were placed in his life. And so I am excited to share this with you because I think there are so many people out there that need to hear it. I know there are because I've got no less than 4 or 5 pretty close friends right now, to very close friends right now, that are going through something very similar in their lives, and they are struggling with the same feelings as I did and still am, honestly. And so just just knowing that amount of people that I'm close to, it's very easy to say that there are so many more out there that need to hear it. So that's why I wanted to share this. And forgive me a little bit. I am basically trying to read through this and kind of go a little off script as well, just to keep it not so robotic. But if I have to stop and kind of catch up on something, I apologize for that. But through that journaling that I talked about, through meditation and through prayer, I realized in this process that when we stop seeing ourselves as victim of life's challenges and of, as victims of those who stand against us, we can see the truth that those circumstances and those people, they're merely just tools that God is using to guide us along the path that He has chosen for us. And so that's that almost paradigm shifting mindset change that I'm talking about that you're gonna hear. These are only struggles, these are only obstacles, these are only challenges and enemies if we see them that way. We have to see them as they are. They are merely the tools and the situations that are going to prepare us for great things in the future. And so here's what I wrote. Each day over the past 2 months, I've struggled with frustrations, anger, and resentment. It has appeared like when one trial finally seems to be wrapping up and I begin to feel some healing from it, another blow comes quickly to take its place. It has been a constant roller coaster of constant internal turmoil due to the mix of not only the feeling that I have already mentioned, the feelings, I guess, that I've already mentioned, but periods of shame, self doubt, and embarrassment as well, just to name a few. All these emotions coming in waves, one after the other, has made for a very confusing and exhausting 2 months. I've never experienced what I have been through in the season that I have found myself in. Me never being really the type of person to get themselves in much trouble in basically all my 45 years. I feel as though that now that's all I am capable of. Day after day in the past weeks, anger has consumed me. Thoughts of vengeance and rectification enter my mind as if I'm some sort of comic book anti hero set on righting the wrongs of an arrogant and ignorant establishment. These are not the normal things and normal thoughts that I deal with. But then again, this is not the normal time that I'm going through. So the unusual thoughts and the unusual feelings that I'm facing, I'm thankful that they aren't the norm for me. But that also makes it a little bit more difficult to deal with because I'm not used to dealing with them. For the most part, I've been able to keep these negative feelings and thoughts under control and under wraps. However, I know that they are still there and they are just lying in wait, always looking for the opportunity to explode out once that last straw lands. This, of course, is not who I want to be or how I want my mind to be occupied. So I must find a way to exit. Find a way to exit what could be a very harmful and endless loop of self destruction. Thankfully, each day passes. The sense of anger, which at times seemed almost uncontrollable, is beginning to be washed away. Where it was taking up residence is now becoming home to faith, hope, and the excitement for the future. My self awareness has now cleared up enough to see through everything that I was using to justify placing myself in that victim role. I am sad to say that I have harbored feelings of hate and resentment towards a few people, but I now see that I actually owe them a debt of gratitude instead. I would not be the person that I am today if it were not for the obstacles and blockades that others have placed in my way in attempts to stop me, to break me, to keep me from reaching the goals and the purposes that I have been placed here for. God has used the very same people that tried to stand in my way to instead guide me in the direction that I needed to go. Even though I know this very well and have seen very similar scenarios played out in my life already, it still seems to take me a while to realize that no matter how bad a situation appears, there is a reason for it. I cannot view it as a roadblock or an obstacle. I must view it as God's way of telling me this isn't where I need you. I have much bigger plans for you somewhere else. The impact that we can have on the lives of others will never be greater than the level of adversity that we have overcome in our life. I would like to read that again, if you will. The impact that we can have on the lives of others will never be greater than the level of adversity that we have overcome in our life. So, as each challenge arises, I will welcome it with the great expectations of the growth and strength that I will gain as I overcome them. I will also be excited for the day that what I gain from overcoming these challenges will be a great glory to God and allow me to play a small role in helping others along their journey as well. We are so very blessed that our futures and our potential isn't determined by the desires and opinions of others. It is the will of God and the perfect plan that He has put in place for us that does. It is equally a blessing that our fate isn't tied to our own desires and opinions of ourselves, because we would never reach our full potential on our own accord. This is why it is the will of God, not the will of others or my own will, that I will forever pursue. Only God can turn obstacles into perfect pathways. Only God can turn confusion into clear vision. Only God can turn darkness into light. And only God can turn pain into purpose. There's something so beautiful, so fulfilling, and so righteous about the way He uses those who try to hold us back to instead guide us to the exact place we need to be. It is amazing. I have heard that it is from our deepest wound in which our genius lies, to which I agree, and I think there is so much wisdom there. But I feel that there's a slightly different wording that strikes me more and touches my heart a little bit better. Our deepest and most painful wounds are what lead us to our true purpose. Those who have set out to break you, to ruin you, to deter you, will ultimately be the ones that set you on a path to an even greater level of significance. Try as they must, no one has the power to disrupt God's plan for us. Craig Rochelle worded it perfectly when he said, "Don't let anyone's opinion of you disrupt God's calling for you." For a reason, excuse me, there is a reason for the pain that we experience during the trials of our lives. It is because of the pain that we pay more attention to the areas that we need to work on to heal. And these areas often lead us to areas that we will be able to help others in the future and to serve the purpose and fulfill the purpose that we have been placed here for. It is that pain that guides us to the lessons that will not only heal us in the moment, but will also serve us as a part of our story that we can now share to help others in the future. So don't use ignorant, excuse me. So don't just ignore your pain. Don't dull or medicate it in the attempt to forget it. Lean into your pain. Allow yourself to feel it. Find out why it is so hurtful and seek the knowledge of others to help heal it. Then, once you have healed and the wound becomes a scar, never pass up an opportunity to share that experience and that wisdom with others. This will allow them to find ways to heal and gain strength, knowing that they are not alone in the fight, knowing that there are others who have been wounded in similar ways that now bear those scars, but also bear the strength that has come from the wounds and from the healing process that led to the scarring. I am beyond thankful for those who have stood in my way, for those who have tried to break me, for those that have tried to silence my message. They have led me closer to God. They have lit the path so that I see it easier and can travel on it better. God has used them to accomplish exactly what He wanted to. I hope those words hit something deep because, like I started out with, I know there are a lot of people out there that need to hear them. And so, if you are one of those people, I hope that you can understand and I hope that you can realize that you aren't alone. You aren't fighting this alone. If you're doing good things and getting beaten down for them, keep doing good things. That's all we can do. And at the end of the day, if the decisions I made, yes, I'm going to make mistakes and I'm going to look back and maybe have some things I wish I would have done wrong or done different. But if I can look back and be satisfied with the effort I gave, with the actions that I chose, and be okay with the purpose that I tried to serve, no matter what others think of those decisions, then I'm okay with it because I know God will be okay with it too. So stay strong, stay in the fight. And remember, we do not lower our standards because others may refuse to raise theirs. We'll see you next time.